Hi, everyone. I would like to welcome you tonight. And this evening, I have my friend Kristian. He is from the great Big Island. Wait, are you on the Big Island?
It's relatively large. I'm from Maui.
Kristian, I've had on my channel before, and I'd love to have him on here because he's so knowledgeable. He has much expertise in the business world. And I'd like for him to share what in the world is going on today in Hawaii. So in terms of, real life, in terms of plans, in terms of businesses, in terms of any kind of insights, some idea of, what's going on there from somebody who's actually living there and making a living successfully, and despite what is going on around him, which isn't exactly what you picture Hawaii to be like. But go ahead, Kristian. Thanks for being on here tonight with us, and I appreciate your time. And hopefully you can dig into what's really going on in Hawaii.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think before we moved out here, I subscribed to like the severe weather alerts for Hawaii. I was just hooked on anything Hawaii related I wanted to know. So for me, back in the old days, this would have been cool to see. So I hope this is cool for some people to see. We've lived out here. We've lived on Maui for about 5 years now. Actually, it's 5 years this month. When we arrived on island, I owned and ran or had a part of 6 different businesses, all online. Over the years, I've slimmed that down. I now have a single business, and that's on purpose. I wanted to simplify and kind of clear out some bandwidth,
I hear you.
We like goofing off a lot. We do a lot of hiking, a lot of snorkeling and swimming and bike riding and that kind of stuff. Anyway, it's been really sad to see what's been happening on the ground here in real life. We live in Kihei, Maui, and if any of your viewers have ever been here, you probably picture, no matter when you've been here, doesn't matter what time, what day, what year, in the last, 40 years, something like that, you come to Kihei, there are people everywhere. The beaches have people on them. All the restaurants are open. All the stores are open. The mall, we have a mall. The mall is open. Everything's open. There are cars everywhere. There are people everywhere. There's a little bit of traffic right on the beachfront road. There's always a little bit of traffic. Everybody's smiling. It's paradise. Everybody's happy. It hasn't been that way since early March, maybe mid-March. And what we've started to see, so I have a lot of local small business owner friends here in the area. And, showing up as a business owner, I just communicate differently, I guess, with people. And when I run into an owner, we strike up conversation. I get the phone number. We stay in touch. Anyway, it's been a bummer the last couple of months, and it's just getting worse and worse as tourism has been just completely dead in the state of Hawaii. It's become really, really painfully clear how dependent most of the local small businesses are on tourist dollars. Maui's a ghost town. My brother lives on Oahu, ghost town. Population's around a third of what it usually is. So the roads are clear. I mean, there's some upside. If your income depends on the local economy, you're toast. Like, you're done. I don't know how everybody hasn't boarded up. It's been really sad to see iconic, longtime family, 20, 30, 40-year businesses loved by the local community. Usually there's a line around the building for breakfast in the morning or for lunch in the middle of the day. And they're not just closed, they're boarded up like plywood, like a hurricane's coming or something.
Right. Sad.
Yeah, it's really sad. So it's become more and more evident to me the last few months that it was what we were talking about right before we went live. It's this reality that if your income is based on the local economy, and And I think for most of the global population, that exactly describes their situation. I used to be a plumber, and when I would wake up to an alarm and get in the car and go to the shop and get my tools and go to the job site, it was all local. My entire income kind of went up or down based on how the local economy was doing. If the economy was good, I had plenty of work. If not, not so much.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So it's been nice. It's been nice as I've learned, that a lot of this stuff you and I have talked about over the years and learned over the years, to be able to think a little differently. It's the year 2020. A lot has changed. And as much as I love the small local hole in the wall, restaurants and stuff, I cannot imagine being an owner. I have no desire. I'm so happy that some people are like born to do that stuff, because I could never. There's way too much work and there's way too many variables. It's too much of a grind. How do you ever break free? I look at
the way of living. I mean, they have to do it, right? You sort of get stuck in that unless there's another avenue.
Well, I think a lot of the best ones, it really is their passion, and it doesn't feel like work. That my favorite breakfast place, they're still open, and I really hope they survive. I don't know how they will. I don't know how they might, but if you have breakfast, when you come to Maui, we're going to get breakfast there. You could in 2 seconds, these people at this restaurant are doing exactly what they love to do. It doesn't feel like work to them. That's exactly what they're supposed to be doing. And I'm really happy they do.
Yeah, that's great.
But if you're not that, that isn't me. That isn't you. And I think a lot of our friends here, that doesn't describe you. That isn't your, cooking or something like that isn't your passion. So if you don't have some really clear cut passion like that demands, you show up a certain way in life or in business, well, then what? What about the rest of us?
Right. Hey, I want to ask those that are watching, drop a line about what state you're in. Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
I know, and let us know what, give a little comment of, what's going on in your local area. I know for me, I just went to get my son, I was telling you, to get him some sneakers at the local strip mall. And it's right along like a major corridor where it's tons of traffic, tons of truck traffic. It's like a main vessel from the north and south here. Okay. And this strip mall had 3 stores shut down. Like, this is a major strip mall. The Walmart in that strip mall was ranked as one of the top selling Walmarts on the East Coast a few years ago. Wow. Like, that's how much traffic and how many sales, go on in that little area, in that little mall area. It's pretty popular. And 3 stores back to back to back were out of business. I couldn't believe it. Like, oh my word. Wow. Like, I don't shop a whole lot lately because I'm doing everything online. So I haven't been down there for a while. And I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
It's sad. And I just, I don't know.
The squeeze is on a lot of them. My attention has been on the hole in the wall, family owned things, because those are the people I know. But I'm seeing a lot of the mid-level, some of the chains, the bigger, you would think maybe more able to weather a storm like this.
Right.
Even all of those are boarding up, and they're done.
And some of those stores were that. One was AC Moore. Another one was Dress Barn. I don't know what the other 2 were because they totally had all their signs removed and gone.
Wow.
So.
Wow. I'm hearing that landlords in Hawaii aren't inclined, I don't know why, but they aren't inclined to play ball, to play nice, I guess, with their business owner tenants right now. They're saying, pay rent in full every month on time or you're out. So, how do you pay rent if you can't even open your doors?
I would be inclined to think if I was that business owner, I'd rather have some rent than none with kicking them out.
Right.
But I'm not one of those guys.
Oh, the locally, that conversation rages every single day. There have been a lot of tears. There's been a lot of anger. It doesn't make sense to me. It seems really unfortunate. It doesn't have to be this way. But with all the chaos and all the hate and all the anger and all the fear and all this stuff in the world around us today, I am reminded all the time, when we came out here, it was a deliberate move towards, I want to say Mayberry. Did you ever watch the Andy Griffith Show?
No, but I know it.
Okay.
But I know what you mean.
It starts with the whistling, and it's the boy fishing, and it's the quiet little town where nothing bad ever really happens. And Susie fell off her bike and skinned her knee. That's the headline in the
like Little House on the Prairie.
Yes, yeah, that it is. I mean, it really is. Maui is a lot like that. It's very quiet, very simple, very family oriented, very slow. So if you like people watching and lots of action, you'd hate it here. But we are insulated from a lot of the chaos and a lot of the stuff I hear about. I don't watch the news or anything, but I'm aware the world seems to be in a lot of hurt. So for kind of wannabe entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs who tune into you, I was thinking when we were talking earlier about doing this, something that might be interesting and useful. When 2001, when the Twin Towers went down, I had friends in one of the buildings. I had business partners in one of the buildings, and I don't care about my business at this point, but the story I think is worth telling. Not only did I lose friends and business partners, my business completely fell apart. It took 2 years for me to declare bankruptcy. I declared bankruptcy in 2003. I should have declared in 2002. It's like an early 2002 in hindsight. But anyway, I only bring that up because there was this outside factor. It had nothing to do with me. I had nothing to do with the Twin Towers. But this world event just wrecked me, ran me into the ground. I lost everything indirectly as a result. So after that, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, I've tried to really think hard about where I put my anchor down. What I choose to do. I don't like the idea at all of working and working and working and building something, throwing my heart and soul into something, and then having COVID kill it. We can't predict the future, of course, but I think that there are ways, and especially this COVID thing has really illuminated a lot of interesting things. I think we're learning what essential and non-essential, what that looks like.
Right.
So I think, anyway, for those who are able to tie, if you could tie your source of income to something that isn't dependent on your local economy, leverages things happening around the world that are going to happen with or without weird politics, coronavirus, war, God forbid, in or out of any of those things, there are certain parts of the economy that chug along no matter what. And if you can, stick a pipe into that river that always flows, it just never stops flowing. If you can derive your income from that, what I've found is stability, security, flexibility, mobility, because I don't have to be on Maui. I could be anywhere.
But who wouldn't want to be on Maui?
Yeah. Not a bad place to be stuck.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. That's kind of what's been on my mind lately as I've watched things deteriorate here. I'm sad for, the people that are just losing everything right now. And I don't know what to do, really, other than to offer a different idea, a different business model. I hate to tell you, it looks like you might be starting over, but what are you going to do? What are your options?
So I guess your experience in this point, or at this point, is the inverse of what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think if you look at Zoom, they're an interesting example of a company who, where there's big problem, there's usually like a corresponding big solution. And if you can be a part of that, often there are giant, ridiculous, obscene paydays attached. If you can be a part of that big solution to the big problem. So Zoom tripled their market share, something like that, in the first few months of this year, just out of the blue.
Yeah.
So essential businesses go like this, non-essential. And I
Tank.
understand there's a whole lots of other stuff we could talk about there, but I'm not judging anything as essential or not essential. I'm just observing what's happening.
Right.
The market, I don't know, the politicians to some degree and the market are deciding what's essential and what's not essential. So if you can put yourself, stake your flag in the essential camp, not only can you serve people and make a difference with or without COVID-19 or whatever, your income should be really stable. Mine has grown significantly. I can't remember. I don't know if I know we talked a couple months ago about what was going on. I can't believe. I mean, it makes sense what's going on, but I'm just a plumber and I don't know anything. So my cash flow lately has been so much. I used to work over a year to make what I've averaged each month this year. I used to work more than a year to make that kind of money.
In plumbing.
Yeah, when I was a plumber. And plumbers, I was making pretty good money as a plumber.
Yeah, I know how much it costs to hire them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so I'm really grateful. I've learned a lot. I've failed a lot, and maybe something I could offer to your friends here, your subscribers, your viewers. If you're feeling beat up because of all this, what's happening in the world, for whatever that is, health, income, whatever it is, hopefully not health, income we can fix. I hope you're well. Anyway, what I could offer is just to say, Amy knows her stuff. We've kind of recently tied back together, thrown in together, and are working, really focused, doing some good focused work together. And I feel like half the time we're on a rescue mission.
Right.
We've got life preservers, and we have extra, and we can throw you one.
Right.
It'll be work.
Right.
It's going to be work. This isn't a something for nothing, magic, any of that. There's no loophole here. This is good, honest work. But if you're coachable, willing, to learn and listen and follow the advice, we aren't, a lot of what I see out in the market, and I'm sure you've seen this too. There's a lot of nice people out there that mean well, but they haven't gotten the result. They haven't, and they aren't getting the results. They took a course,
Right.
$99 course on the internet that said, here's how you can look like an expert,
Right.
So go online and try to look like an expert. And some of them are pretty good at it.
I agree.
So it makes it confusing, if I'm the little guy out on the internet trying to figure stuff out, I don't know which end is up. One of the things that I would encourage you to do, if you don't know Amy, you don't know me, test us. How are you guys really doing? Don't be shy to ask those questions. I would be looking at the business model. Just do a common sense chuckle test on the business model. Is it a joke? Is it ridiculous? Or does it make sense?
Right.
And then check the results. Just make sure the people that, in my experience, the people you work with are at least as important as what you do. So,
I have a lot of people that ask to either be on a team with a good mentor or ask me to mentor them or something along those lines. And this is it, guys. I mean, if you're still looking,
yep.
Stop, because we're the real deal. Those commercials with the guys and they're flashing their screenshots of this and there's screenshots of money making that. We're not doing that, but it's there. And I have 17 years of selling online and doing business online. And I don't know how many years you have, Kristian, but a lot between the two of us. And then there's a lot more on our team that can be assistant and be mentors. And we know what not to do. I think I tell kids that I teach or encounter, a lot of life is figuring out what you don't want to do. Until you finally figure out, what you want to do. So we've been through it.
Yep. I think of it as the meat grinder of business or the meat grinder of life. It can be really not fun, but you learn a lot. And I guess most of us have to get a little bit old and beat up and bloody to finally have clarity.
Yeah. Just banging off the dirty glasses, right? And now we finally see. Or maybe they're putting the glasses on.
Right. Yeah. So I appreciate the opportunity to hang out. I like your stuff and like your style, and happy to help out if I can anytime.
Well, thanks for joining us, and would love to have you back anytime.
Okay. Sounds good. I've got boys that need hiking time. So we've got everything ready to take off.
All right, Kristian. Well, have a good evening. All right. And we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, guys. So let's say you're watching this to the end and you want to know what to do. I'm actually going to pop up a banner here, and it'll show you where you can go if you want to write down that address. Basically, it's on my Facebook. It's a page on my Facebook where you can book a free session with Kristian and I, or myself or Kristian, and we will show you it just 15 minutes to show you what it is that we're doing. And there's no pressure. You just say yes or no. We move on from there. If it's no, we're done. We don't bug you. We go on. But if it's something you're considering, we will take you by the hand and teach you everything. It's a simple process, what we do. And then we just basically work together. So if that's something that interests you, look down here. You see it in the ticker down here at the bottom. Write that down, and I will get back with you. The other thing you can do is send me an email. If you go to amyhunt.biz, let me put that on here. If you go to amyhunt.biz, you have my contact information. You can get that as well. So if you have any questions, just leave it in the comments below this video. You can pop it up here in the chat. I'll stay on here for a couple more minutes to see if anybody has any questions or comments to post. But outside of that, if you are somebody who wants to make another source of income for a backup plan, despite the pandemic or any other disasters, the things that we are doing are lasting. They're going to last through anything because they're essential to every human life. It's what we need, and I can't see it faltering. And it didn't falter through the pandemic. It actually did very well because of the pandemic, and it should continue to do well. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope to see your comments. I will get back to them as soon as I can. Again, if you want to move forward, the time is now. Do it now, and we'll get you moving here. It's a simple process. All right, everyone. So thanks for watching. And I just wanted to remind you, tomorrow night, this is a big deal. Tomorrow night, we're kind of switching gears. Tomorrow night, I'm doing a webinar at 7 p.m. and it's going to take you from basically drop shipping and zero money. Yes, zero money is how I teach drop shipping. I know some people say, well, you can't teach drop shipping with zero money. Yes, I can. I have a course on it. I teach you how to do it without any money. It's how I did it for years. Now, you're not going to make huge, big bang bucks necessarily. There are tools that help you increase as you go. So I'll talk about that tomorrow night at 7 p.m. on my channel. It's going to be live. There's going to be prizes and some big some big deal prizes, some sessions with me and that sort of thing. So hopefully we'll see you tomorrow night. If you're interested in doing the webinar tomorrow night, check out my video on my channel, Home Business Expert, and there is a link that should be popped up from a video earlier tonight that you can register for the webinar. I hope to see you there. So thanks for watching, everyone, and see you tomorrow night.